Yup, this is going to be a video on retracement versus reversals. Let's just get straight into it. One thing I would like to stress is obviously you would like to know your draw, and the reason for that is because it's less likely for you to know what will be the retracement versus the reversal. Now, what I mean by that is if price is going up, and let's say we have equal lows and either a PD array or buy side, and this dotted line is going to be a representative for that. So let's say we have a PD array and buy side. You want to see price create low resistance liquidity. I kind of teach this in my Discord as well. So you want to see low resistance liquidity. Okay, so this is obviously one thing, and I can teach videos on MMXM. That could probably be my next video. But as we're coming up, we're not taking out sell stops, right? And we have a draw, which is these equal lows. So how can I anticipate a reversal? Because we're in a higher time frame PD array, or we take buy side. Now this is obviously where you can take your breaker right here. And this is where you would need to decipher what it would be. So now this is where you can anticipate retracements coming into a deep premium, taking out stops, and running up higher, just like that. You will see on the left side that you want to just see it keep on running up, creating low resistance liquidity. Now you can note this in your notebook. You can anticipate reversals in a higher time frame PD array or a run on stops. That's when you can anticipate a reversal. To anticipate retracements, you have to know the draw and obviously run on stops. And you will only know that if we hit a PD array or buy side. So let's get into a real example on the chart. Now, how can we trust that this caution sign is going to be our shift? We know that this is our shift because one, sell side. Another indication is this gap. Excuse me, is this gap. So one, we have low resistance liquidity. You see how we're not taking out stops as we're coming down. So we know that price is only going to retrace to go lower into our draw, right? But as we're heading into sell side, creating low resistance liquidity, retracing into these gaps here. We retrace into a gap here, and they all hold to go lower into your draw, which is the inefficiency and also the sell side. Now, if it's coming down into this inefficiency and it comes back up, we wait for an intermediate term high, which is here, and it gets broken. Now, if we're flipping to the buy side, we want to see a run on stops instead. So you see how it's more of a trend line here as we're coming down to our draw. And here it's not necessarily like a trend line. It's we run lower into the gap one more time, and then we purge the low, we take the low. This is a retracement. Why? Because we have low resistance liquidity after we hit a PD array or a higher time frame PD array, or an N plus a run on stops. And we took the stops as a retracement, going higher into the low resistance liquidity. Let's find one more example. Going to be another example of obviously the retracement and the reversals. So one, as we drop, are we taking out highs? So obviously you know that we're gonna retrace into our draw, which is the sell side, and the PD array or the inefficiency down here. And once we hit it, there's no other reason for it price to come back down. So we shift here. And obviously we have a gap here, propelling price higher. But as we're dropping, we create low resistance liquidity. And also with the low resistance liquidity, we can trust that these lows here that get taken is only going to be a retracement because we know that this is our draw. This is a run on stops. Here's our draw. Purge the lows revert to buy side. And let me put an X here. Same scenario here. We have buy side relative equal highs after hitting a PD array and taking sell side. So if it's our criteria of, put up, or it's not working, but if it's our criteria with low resistance liquidity, hits a PD array, and obviously we see short-term lows get taken. We've seen one here. So now we can really trust that any low that gets purged, we can anticipate it to reverse. Like this low here. Also, maybe not here, but only because of our draw was up here and here. This is a really quick video, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. I teach a lot more about purge and revert and this stuff in my Discord. If you guys want to join that, it's probably going to be in my bio somewhere, and if you can't find it, just DM me or leave a comment. Thank you and have a wonderful one.